Hey everyone, it's James from the Fit RV, and today this will be the second of the videos of converting this garage space into a shop, and today we're laying the floor. Now, if you look online about laying a wood floor over concrete, you're gonna get a lot of steps, and they always go something like, well, lay down some plastic sheeting and then put some pressure treated sleepers and then insulate and then a subfloor. And that's great, and I'm sure it works fine and all, but it sounded like a lot of steps. And it also sounded like a giant pain in the rear. So I looked around, I found this product, and this is what I'm gonna use for the floor. This stuff is Dricore R+. Now what it is it's a OSB subfloor bonded to some polystyrene insulation. At least I assume it's polystyrene. This gives it an R value of 3, so you're not on a cold concrete floor. And it's also got these channels in the bottom for water, so you can lay it directly onto the concrete. You don't have to do that plastic sheeting, whatever. Simple, I like that. The other thing is it is a tongue and groove, I don't know if you can see that, tongue and groove installation. It's a floating floor, so it should go down pretty quick. I don't need a lot of fasteners or special tools, and I'm hoping actually to get most of this floor laid today. Okay, but before I start laying the floor, I want to tell you about this other thing I did. This concrete floor had a lot of these expansion joints cut into the floor, you know, for the concrete. And that's great, but to me it just seemed like it might be kind of like scorpion superhighways underneath my shop floor. And I don't like that. So what I did is I got some of that, they make a great stuff foam product. It's specially made to keep out insects. And so I got some of that and sprayed it in the cracks. So the first thing I'm gonna do is shave this stuff off so I've got a nice level surface, clean up the floor, and then we'll get started. So this stuff is actually going down fairly easily. The tongue and groove is working pretty well. You just basically put them into place, use a tapping block, and drive them home. So here we are on day 2 of the project. It's going pretty much as expected, no major hiccups. Even getting around these poles wasn't too bad. Just had to cut the pole at the bottom, jack up the garage, and slide. I'm just kidding. You just alter the pattern so that you're cutting on the edges of sheets. Anyway, people even showed up to help. That all went great, but now I've got a bit of a problem over here by this man door. Okay, so here's the problem. Even though I looked at the specs for this stuff online before I ordered it, and it said this should have worked, when I put this piece of scrap down in front of the door, yeah, it doesn't work. So the only thing I can think to do at this point is to take the door off the hinges and trim the bottom of it. And of course, the door is steel, so this is gonna be super fun. But I guess there's no point in delaying things, so here we go. Okay, so when I said that was gonna be no fun at all, I was actually overestimating how much fun that was gonna be. But look, I can open the doors now. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish up here and then at the garage doors too. I'm gonna have to come back when I get my shop built and do some threshold work later on because there's a threshold there and it doesn't match up nicely with the flooring. And the same is gonna happen when I get to the garage doors too. But that's not gonna stop me from finishing this today, so back at it. Okay, check it out. It's a new day and I've got all the flooring down. Have a look at that. Now, I could probably leave it like this with this surface because I mean it is just a shop, but I want to put down a clear finish on it, and it doesn't really have to do so much with appearance as it does with ease of sweeping and cleaning up in here. So I'm going to put down a clear finish, but before I get to that, I want to show you a couple other things I did, just that one of them was maybe smart and one of them was kind of a waste of time. So let me show you those. Okay, so here's the first thing I did, and I don't know if you can see this very well, I'm gonna have to get a close up, but all around the edges of the room where, you know, it's technically a floating floor, I did two things. First, according to Dricore, if you're going to be putting heavy machinery on the floor, they want you to anchor it down. So I've got Tapcon anchors, 1/4-inch anchors, all the way around the sides of the floor. That's one thing. The second thing I did is I took this expanding great stuff, bug repellent foam stuff, and I put it in the crack all around the outside, because the thought of scorpions, I mean, I could be laying on top of 1,000 scorpions right now, but they're not getting out because of that. So that's the one thing I did that kind of worked out. Now let me show you the one that didn't work out. Okay, now the next thing you can probably see in all these cracks, there's like this joint filler compound that I put in there. That didn't work out at all. There's enough flex in this floor with that foam underneath that basically it all just pretty much cracked and shrank and is worthless right away. The good news about that though is that it was only $10 for the quart of floor sealer compound, so I didn't waste a whole lot of money. Yeah, but I won't be doing that again. So with all the prep work I can think of out of the way, there's nothing left to do but get going with this floor sander. I just want to knock down the high spots. I'm not trying for like a mirror finish or anything, but I want to knock down the high spots and get this stupid joint compound off of there. So I'll be sanding and then putting down some clear coat. So I've been dreading this because it's going to make a mess, but here we go. All right, well that took a while and was very messy, but as you can see, I'm done. Looks okay, and I'm ready to lay down the first coat of finish, but I'm expecting this, since it's just kind of OSB, I'm expecting it to be very, very porous and to soak up a lot of the finish. And so rather than dump a coat of finish that's going to disappear into the wood, first coat I'm going to put down is something called sanding sealer, which will help seal the pores of the wood so that subsequent coats of finish will kind of rest on top instead of get soaked into the wood. So that's next. Well, after a lot more, what basically amounted to swabbing the deck, here we are, I'm done. So I wound up and ultimately put down 3 coats. There was 1 coat of sanding sealer and 2 coats of a compatible water-based polyurethane. It's dry to the touch, but I shouldn't really be moving anything heavy in here just yet, so we're gonna let it rest for the day. So that's pretty much gonna wrap it up for the floors. I think they came out okay for a shot. Next time, we're going to be working on electrical, and that will include lighting and then a bunch of outlets for 120 and 240 volt receptacles. So that'll be next time. See you later. Bye.